Uh, hello, hi everyone. Welcome back to Lotus Chat Worldwide. And we have Jen with us today.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about episode 77, Focus Creation with the Universe. Oh, I love that topic, Jen. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we could do something a little more on the more of the creating versus the reflection type of podcast. I know the last couple of episodes we've been really delving deep into reflecting on our past, reflecting on loneliness as we did with our last episode and what it means in modern day. So today we're going to go to more of the act of creating in order to manifest, in order to bring about those things that you dream about, those goals that you have that you wanted to bring to fruition. So, Zian, when you hear the words co-creating with the universe, what comes to mind for you?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is like a vision board or a dream board, something that we can visualize and see it and then actually make it happen. So I think I want to also quote about the reference back to the workshop that we both attended with ETA. I think at one point we spoke something about dream it, declare it, and do it, something along those lines. But I think the concept is that, sometimes, a lot of times, ideas are in our head. So we dream about it, but maybe we miss the second step, which is declare it. And then the most important part is actually doing it. So the action part of it. So I love it when we went through that. So dream it, declare it, and do it. What do you think?
Oh, Zian, I'm glad you brought that up because that actually really did, when we thought about this topic, it really triggered that statement in my mind and how important it is for us to not only dream, big dreams, to not only think of the possibilities, but also declare it, like actually say it, whether it's saying it in a mirror to ourselves every day, that today I am going to do this to get to that goal. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make sure I start putting things into practice and then actually doing it. So it's not just about the words. It's like that famous line, actions speak louder than words. And in this case, actions do speak a lot louder in many instances when you are trying to create something new, when you're trying to bring something into life. One of the things that I know for me, I've actually started doing is being more direct, because that's ultimately what Zian is mentioning. When we talk about declaring it and doing it, we are being not only direct with ourselves and confirming ourselves that, hey, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to do to get it, but we're also telling the universe, hey, this is exactly what I'm looking for. This is what I'd like to, happen in my life. This is what the dream that I want to have. I'm going to meet you halfway, universe, by doing this, and we're going to co-create together. So, Zian, what do you think about the whole thing about, being more direct? Like, is it important for people to be direct when they are manifesting and co-creating?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the value in that is that, sometimes we dream about things and then things get a bit fuzzy because it's in the head and it's easy to dream about it. You want A, you want B, you want C, you want D, you want everything because, we're just humans. So we want everything. But I think the value in declaring it and then actually putting it into a vision board, which by the way is something that I really believe in. I do it every year at the end of the year. And I think the value is that it helps to keep you focused. And that's the title that we have today, like focus creation. And I want to expand a little bit more on that about focus creation, because just last week, I think I met a client who told me, yeah, I've got a vision board. And I've always hear people saying that, like, do you have a vision board? And they go like, yeah, I have a vision board. I'm like, great, show me yours. And then he went into showing me about 4 to 5 pages of lots of pictures on his vision board, no clear writing, a lot of cutouts from magazines, and that's all great. But then I asked him, so what do you really want? Because if I miss universe, like as in the universe, I'm confused because I don't know what you actually want, because there's so many pages and pages of things that you want. So I think the value in putting one specific dream board with clear intentions of what you want to do helps us to keep our mind and the universe focused. Then the universe can co-create together with you and give you what you want.
Deanne, I love how you said that, because that was one of the things that also came to mind when I was thinking about this topic, about how declaring it and saying, when if somebody were to come up, like just out of the blue and come up and,
Yeah.
and ask you, Deanne, what do you want?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I want
Like a
this and I
genie,
want
right?
that and I want this, and the list could be on and on and on.
Yeah.
But then they keep asking you, what do you want? Because here's the thing, the practice is to hone in on those things that you really want to focus on, so
Yeah.
that you are not giving the universe and everything around you the possibilities of giving you too many possibilities to choose from.
Yeah.
And that's what I found has happened in my life, where when I am not direct about something that I want, I usually get a lot of options, and then I'm like, well, I don't know, like, okay, like, and then I, of course, explore those options, and then I'm like, well, that wasn't it, and that wasn't it, and that
Yeah.
wasn't it. It was because I realized I wasn't being direct with myself about what it would look like to me, like what that situation, the ideal situation would look like for me.
Yeah.
What that person would look like, or be like, or feel like I wasn't being direct with myself about what I wanted, and that is why I was given like all these different types of options. Now, the more and more you become clear with yourself about what you want, the more the external starts to reflect your internal. And that's what I found, which is really beautiful. It's almost like you're working this magic with the energies around you. And an example that I do to help me hone in on being direct is actually doing a vision exercise with myself. So I will get a journal and I will think about, let's say, envisioning my ideal relationship. And I will literally like imagine what it's like, imagine what it feels like. I write it down, like, I am ... It feels like this. I can, and I start just like imagining what it's like being in relationship with someone like that. And I found that when I started doing that, my mind just started changing, and I started thinking like, that's it. I just needed to be more direct with myself. Because before I was being kind of like, maybe I want that, maybe this, oh, maybe a little bit of that. So, Zia, what do you think? Like, the whole like practice of envisioning and feeling and even smelling what it's like, what do you think about that practice? Why is it so powerful?
Yeah, I love that, because I think that relates to the whole concept of attracting it with your mind. Because when you can visualize it, then you attract. And what I mean by attracting is that sometimes when we want something, it's not just about us going to get it, but then we attract people to come to us. We attract invitations, we attract opportunities. So I want to share with you like a real story. I think a couple of weeks ago, I like to think that my mind and attracted the opportunity to apply for to be the trainer for Train the Trainer program. And I tell you what, when I first heard that, my boss asked me to submit my application, I go like, what? No, I don't want to do that. That's too much work, too much paperwork. I'm not sure if I'm ready. I don't know if I want to do it. Blah, 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 blah. Like so many excuses, because the truth is I was very busy and I knew the amount of paperwork that I need to do to submit for that application. And then I came back home. I always look at my dream board in the morning. So then the next day I was in the morning, I look at the dream board and it was written there like so clearly. But there was a picture of me doing a training, and then it's written there, I will conduct trainer programs. And I was like, oh my God, why did I like say all that I said yesterday? Because the reality is life happens very fast. So sometimes even your mind attracts the opportunity. You go like, oh my God, I'm not sure. It's so challenging. There's so much work. We're just humans. We're weak in the flesh, But then when I looked at that dream board and I was like, oh my God, the universe is giving me this opportunity. Why did I go into that whole spiral of complaining and trying to avoid it? And then I just told my boss, okay, I'll do it. And it's going to be painful, but I'll do the submission. And we did. Yeah, so that's why, so yeah, so it's important to have that, because when you are trying to procrastinate or being lazy or just being resistant about what you want, that dream board reminds you of what you actually want. Yeah.
Very smart on mentioning how a dream board could actually play a really great role and be a tool in you wanting to reach a goal or
Yeah.
reach a milestone. I mean, the fact that you mentioned like career, I mean, I actually have had multiple occasions where I've done dream boards throughout my life. And one of the biggest dreams that I had was I wanted to work in the nonprofit space. And it was one of those things where I was like, I want to get back to the world. I want to be able to know that when my work, it's going to do something good. It's going to help people. I actually like, I mean, it was and I think I've mentioned it in another podcast where I've mentioned the roundabout way that the universe was like trying to get me there and like, oh, okay, well, you had to move jobs. Oh, okay. Oh, you were, told that you weren't going to be able to, continue with that company. Oh, well, let's move you into another company, another opportunity. And then it got me to where I'm at now. And I'm like, wow, universe, you did a snake was swivelly snake way of getting me to like the dream that I've been wanting. And I realized sometimes the universe doesn't do it in the exact time frame at the exact moment that you want. So that's another thing about focused manifestation and co-creating is that you have to be open to the flexibility that the things that you ask for aren't going to be in the exact way that you may. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there have been times when you're like, this isn't exactly what I thought it would be like, but it's actually better.
Yes,
And
right.
that's kind of sort of where I'm at now, where I'm kind of surrendering to the possibilities of this may not be exactly what I would have envisioned like 10 years ago, but it's actually turning out to be a lot better than I could have imagined in many ways. And yes, it's been a little bit slower, but I've learned so much along the way. So Zian, what are some other tools that, aside from the vision board, aside from the journaling that I mentioned with vision writing, what other tools can we give them to co-create and be more focused in their manifestation?
I think coming back to the word declare it that we mentioned just now, so dream it, declare it, and do it. So coming back to the declaration, I think that declaration for me in the form of sharing with people around me matters a lot, because, for example, if you have a dream and you share it with 5 people, that process of sharing that dream that you have will kind of creates that positive energy to come true, 1, and 2, the people that you're sharing it with might know someone who could help you with that dream, and 3, they naturally become your accountability partner, because 1 month later you're going to meet them and they go like, hey, you said you want to do this, what happened to that? And you go like, oh my God, do you have to remind me? Oh yes, thank you for reminding me, I'm gonna get onto it. So it works like both ways, so when you declare it, it's a great process to do it. So I definitely encourage you, if you have a dream, to go for something. It's not going to be an easy process. Nobody said that dreams are easy. Okay, so in that process, just share it with 3 of your closest friends and see what you come up with that.
Oh, I love that. You never know who you're going to talk to who's going to be able to connect you with your next dream, your next opportunity, your next XYZ. One of the other things that I found very helpful, because as you mentioned, Zian, it's not easy to go after a dream or a goal, sometimes, right? I mean, we have to go sometimes over like, walls and difficulties sometimes and struggles. But what can keep you focused on that is to always affirm. Give yourself some positive affirmations that you say throughout the day that will remind you that you are confident, you are brave, you are, XYZ, to keep you motivated in that dream, regardless of what happens, because it may not always be where you are, maybe you take one step back when you really want to take one step forward. Always yourself those positive affirmations and remind yourself that you are entirely capable of reaching that dream and the possibilities are yours.
And I think for me, the most important point for me before we close is that it's the part that you dream it, you declare it, and then you action upon it. you action upon it. And what I mean by actioning upon it is that the dreams will not happen if you only keep dreaming about it and then you don't do any action. It's not going to happen. And I'm sure you know that, but then, sometimes it's not easy to do that action. So what I would highly recommend is that when we want to do an action, that action gets to be small, it gets to be tiny, and it gets to be done in like less than 10 minutes.
Yes, I agree, Zian. And I think we've discussed this in a previous Lotus Chat episode where we discussed that doing one thing every day that gets you closer to that goal or that dream, like actually doing that physical thing that's going to get you a little bit closer to, let's say, the job that you want. Maybe you take every day to apply to 4 more, places, or you take the day to update your resume, or you go to a networking workshop where you can meet more people. You take a step every day to get yourself there. Or if you're writing a book, like in my case, the goal of me wanting to write a book, every single day I take time to write a couple more, a page or two to get me there. Now I know it's not going to tomorrow, my book's going to be done, but I know in due time it will. And as long as I keep myself in the mindset that I'm going to do that every single day, eventually it will be like a complete book.
Wow.
So,
and when do you write your book? Just curious, because you're busy and you're working full time.
well, I try to do a little bit before bed. So I do a little bit of writing before bed, and then I make sure that I close, my time off at a certain time so that I can give myself some mental rest. I do a little bit of yoga, meditation, and that my day. So that's usually my whole like schedule.
Okay, I've got 2 kids, so I'm gonna be your first customer to buy that book. Okay.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. I love it. Yes, and I will definitely share it with the podcast when, with everyone out there. But so again, if you have a dream, take one little step every single day to get yourself there. And again, Zian, are there any other last words that you would like to give to our viewers and listeners out there?
No, my last word is subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes. So everyone out there, not only do we have this wonderful YouTube channel, if you're watching us here and listening to us, but we also have a Spotify podcast. So if you love just listening, to a podcast on the way to work or at the gym or when you're about to, call it a night, definitely check us out on Spotify podcast under Lotus Chat Worldwide. And we definitely will be back with another great episode. And if there are anything that you would like us to discuss, anything out, particular topics, something that's really inspiring you at this time, we'd love to hear from you at our lotuschatworldwide@gmail.com. You can even send us like some comments in the comment section below, and definitely hit that like button and subscribe if you like what you hear. So we will definitely see you all again soon, and thank you for joining us, Zian. Thank you for being here, and you guys take care.
Bye.